Have you ever wondered what you'd do for $1 million? Would you lie? Would you cheat? Would you fake falling in love? That's the question I had to answer. My name is Clara, and this is the story of how a game I thought I was playing ended up playing me. It all started with the Legacy Challenge, a ridiculous reality competition cooked up by some eccentric billionaire. The rules were simple. The first person to get a complete stranger from the other side of the tracks to propose marriage would win an inheritance that would set them up for life. For someone like me, who grew up with a silver spoon but an empty bank account thanks to my family's bad decisions, this wasn't just a game. It was a lifeline. My target was Leo. He was everything my world wasn't. He worked with his hands at a local community garden. His fingernails were always a little dirty, and his smile, well, his smile was the most genuine thing I'd ever seen. He was kind, thoughtful, and had a quiet strength about him. He was the perfect mark, or so I thought. My strategy was simple. I'd orchestrate a chance meeting at the farmer's market where he sold his produce. I put on my best damsel in distress act, pretending my designer purse had been snatched. Leo, of course, didn't hesitate. He chased down the actor I'd hired, returned my purse with a concerned look, and refused any reward. "Just be more careful next time," he said, his warm brown eyes looking right through my carefully constructed facade. That was the first crack in my armor. I started bumping into him more often. I'd show up at the community garden, dressed down in jeans and a t-shirt, pretending to have a newfound interest in organic kale. He was patient, teaching me how to tell a weed from a seedling, his hand gently guiding mine. I was supposed to be the one acting, but every laugh we shared felt real. Every conversation we had about his dreams, to turn the derelict lot next to the garden into a playground for the neighborhood kids, chipped away at my resolve. I was weaving a web of lies, telling him I was a struggling artist, trying to find inspiration away from the city's hustle. It was a half-truth. I was an artist, but I was struggling with my conscience, not my finances. The more time I spent with him, the more I saw the richness in his life that had nothing to do with money. He found joy in a perfect tomato, in the laughter of children playing, in the simple act of sharing a meal he grew himself. My friends from the competition couldn't understand my hesitation. "Clara, what are you waiting for? Get the ring!" They'd text me. They saw Leo as a pawn, a stepping stone. But I was starting to see him as the destination. One evening, we were sitting on an old wooden bench overlooking the garden as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. He turned to me, his expression serious. "Clara," he began, "I know we haven't known each other long, but I've never felt this way about anyone. You see the world differently, and you make me want to be a better man." My heart hammered against my ribs. This was it. This was the moment I'd been working towards. The proposal was coming. The prize was within my grasp. All I had to do was say yes. But as I looked into his trusting eyes, I felt sick. The $1 million prize suddenly felt like 30 pieces of silver. How could I build a future on a foundation of lies? How could I take this pure, good-hearted man and twist his love into a victory for my own greed? The game had become my reality, and I was about to lose the only real thing in it. He reached into his pocket, and for a terrifying second, I thought he was pulling out a ring. Instead, he brought out a small, slightly crooked wooden bird he had carved. "I made this for you," he said softly. "It's a swallow. They say they always find their way home. I feel like I found my home with you." That was the breaking point. Tears streamed down my face, not of joy, but of shame. "Leo, I have to tell you something," I choked out. And I did. I told him everything. About the competition, the prize, the lies, the staged purse-snatching, all of it. I watched as his warm expression crumbled, replaced by a look of confusion, then hurt, then a cold, quiet disappointment that was worse than any anger. He just stood up, placed the wooden bird on the bench between us, and walked away without a word. I had never felt so alone. I had won the battle against my conscience but lost the war for my heart. The competition deadline was the next day. I didn't show up. I couldn't. The thought of accepting that money felt like poison. Instead, I went to my family's lawyer and did something I should have done a long time ago. I sold off my trust fund's last remaining assets. The designer clothes, the sports car, the things I thought defined me. I took all that money and anonymously donated it to the Community Gardens Fund to build the new playground. It wasn't $1 million, but it was everything I had. A few weeks later, I was walking past the garden. Construction had started on the playground. Kids were laughing, and the sounds of hammers and saws filled the air. I saw Leo directing a group of volunteers, a genuine tired smile on his face. Our eyes met across the lot. There was no anger there anymore, just a flicker of something I couldn't quite read. I didn't expect him to forgive me. I didn't deserve it. But I knew that for the first time in my life, I had done something truly valuable. I didn't win the prize, but I found something far more precious. Myself. I learned that true wealth isn't about what you have in your bank account, but what you have in your heart. And sometimes, the biggest prize is letting go of what you thought you wanted, to become the person you were meant to be. I lost the fake love, but I finally understood what it meant to have real feelings. And that was a victory no amount of money could ever buy. Thanks for watching my story. If it resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe for more tales about life's unexpected turns. See you next time.